Hello! Today's video is about patterning, this drum machine app here. It actually is my favorite drum machine. First, because it shows rhythm as a circle. Sounds like a simple idea, but it is outstanding. Most drum machines show rhythm as a line, and I think in nature it much more feels like a circle. Second, it allows the use of dynamics very easily, just with your fingertips in these fields. And third, this is what today's video is about. It comes with a lot of sounds. Some are made by the developer, Olympia Noise, but the far larger part is created by users who simply recorded their drum sets, percussions, drum machines, whatever, and uploaded their sounds for the community. This is exactly what I'm going to do today. I'm the proud owner of this drum machine, the LXR Mark II, which I have not found in the list, and I'm going to record some sounds, trying to create a drum kit, and then I'm trying to contribute this drum kit to the patterning sound library. I recently created a set of sounds, and I actually even made a song out of it. I think the link should pop up here. And I'm going to take these sounds, but the drum computer, this one has 6 voices and patterning has 8. So I will have to make some extra material, and I think I should switch it on, find the sounds, and then make some recordings. All right, I've been browsing through existing projects, and this is the one that ended up in a song. And I think I'm going to take the big and the small kick and the snare sound and the the high instrument that is between ride and shaker and maybe a hi-hat. And then I found a project which was called Cumbia. The Cumbia project sounds like this. And I think that sound and these two could be interesting as well. And the last project that had interesting sounds. Too bad that the LXR does not have a sound browser, but that sounds are only stored in projects. A little complicated. Okay, the interesting sounds are these. And now I start sampling. Here we are inside the Ableton Live project where the sampling will take place. The yellow track here is just me talking, and the red one is the track where the sampling will take place. There are 2 things I'd like to show you. First, I opened a metering plugin, which tells me here how loud the incoming audio is or how much headroom I have. And this bass drum peaks at minus 9.7 decibels, which is close to perfect for percussive instruments. I think this one is too loud, so I'll have to change the input level at my sound card or the output level at the drum computer. And the second thing is here in Live's preferences. I know that patterning sound engine is working at this very sampling rate, 44.1 kilohertz, and I'll choose that already for the recording so that I don't have to change anything later on. And now the recording may start. So this is what I have, 9 recordings of single drum hits, and the next step is to take away the empty space before, and by zooming in, I'm looking for the place where the waveform starts. This is quite good. Tiny bit of nothing in the end may be nice. For example, if somebody wants to reverse the sound, but not too much. And now it sounds like this. Okay, so I should do that for all the samples I recorded. This is the collection with 9 recordings from the LXR I just took and chopped out, and this is how it sounds so far. Next step is some EQing. I'm not planning to make drastic changes, but for example, if you look at this, here in the EQ, there's quite a lot going on in the very low frequencies, which does not have to do something with the sound in the way you're actually using it. So if I take away all that stuff, it's just less rumble in the low frequencies, but nothing is lost that is really useful, and I'm going to do that for all the 9 samples. The next step is to adjust the volume. I have had quite a lot of headroom, which is not necessary, and I open up these 2 plugins, and my goal is to reach a peak of -1 decibel, so a little headroom, not to have attenuation, which means compression. And therefore, I'll go for a threshold setting, which does not compress, but make the sample so loud that it reaches this peak. That looks pretty good. I reached that peak. There was no red sign of attenuation. And now let's export. Export audio, convert to mono is on. 44.1 is the right sampling rate. And now, so look at this, a folder with 9 samples, very short single drum hits from the LXR. Now let's get it into the iPad and into patterning and see what we do with that there. Success! I just managed to load the drum samples into patterning. It was trickier than I honestly thought, but it worked. I'll tell you the steps. You tap on the sample icon to reach the samples menu. And if you want to import something, you obviously go to import. You don't have the option audio share, which is interesting, but instead Dropbox, which I don't like, and then files. That's what I chose to do. It takes you to the file structure on your iPad. You go to locations on my iPad. There I already had a folder for samples. Inside that folder, I created a new folder, which I called LXR 02. Then I sent the files from the computer to the iPad. They were in the download folder. I moved them to this LXR 02 folder, and then back to patterning. I imported them. They appeared in the user samples list, the list with all samples. And I created a new folder here in patterning, which I called LXR 02. And I selected all the LXR samples, went to edit, and there I could move them into this new folder. So at this point, the samples were in patterning and they were not yet in the project. You can't do that for all samples. You have to do it slot by slot. So you go to the single sample slots to kick and then load the kick drum, to snare and load the snare drum, or however you want to do it. And this is very helpful. Patterning automatically realizes the name. So my bell is called bell, the guiro is called guiro. So I actually know what is where. And then I saved the drum kit, save as LXR02, and I think I'm having a new drum kit by now. I even can add a picture, which I haven't made yet. I think I should do that in the next step so that it looks as beautiful as the other user-made drum kits, and then I just make a check if it really works to play music on that. And then there's one icon, share drum kit. That's what I'm going to try in the last step. Yes, I just created a logo. It's good enough for now. Okay, let's see and hear if it works. Time for an outro. As I said before, I've created a whole song using the LXR and some saxophone. And once again, you're invited to have a look and a listen. I've put a link somewhere. If you found the video helpful, you're invited to drop a comment. If you have some advice how to improve on making sample sets, or if you have made some experience using my samples, I'd also like to hear from you. And if you even made some music using this drum kit inside patterning, feel free to drop a link or write a comment where I can find it. I'd like to hear from you. Enough for today. Hopefully see you next time. Bye bye.